Hello everyone, new video on the Cybertruck. I've now had it for a couple weeks. I didn't drive it last week, had to bring my other truck here, but it's got 1,000 miles on it now. I do have some opinions on it, and we're gonna make this a little bit of a whining video. I know how you guys like it when I whine, but I mean I won't really whine, but we're gonna do 10 things I don't like about the Cybertruck. And then I'll do another video, posting about what I like about it. Okay, so let's start with that. So as far as changes, I got the windows tinted. I got 5% in the front, 50% stacked on the back windows. So the net effect in the back is 5% total. So I think it matches pretty good. Gives it a nice look. I don't like being able to see the B-pillar. And since it's all matching and dark, it just looks like one big opening on the side, one big slit. I did order some running boards for it. My wife said she just doesn't like how it's so hard to get in. And it makes it kind of tougher that the door's heavy for her. So I decided to get some running boards, and I'll get those installed and do a little video on those. I ordered different wheel covers. I'm not really... I think these look pretty good, but I'm not a huge fan. I'm going to get something a little simpler. And I don't know about, all these little openings and all that. So I'm just going to go with something a little simpler and, see how that works out. So the 10 things I hate about this truck, or 10 things I dislike about the truck, not hate. Number one is going to be wind noise. If you guys go back to my original video of me test driving this truck, I complained a lot about how noisy it was. And it was very noisy. That truck was a little different. It was a Cybertruck. This is a Cyberbeast. So the main difference that I see on the inside is going to be, it's a foundation series. So it's got like the stainless on the bottom. Apparently that's not stainless on the non-foundations. But the main thing that's different in here that I didn't really know about, that I had to confirm, is that the dash, shoot, okay, this paper out of my pocket. This dash, all the way from, the whole dash is Alcantara. And on the regular Cybertruck, it is just whatever it is, like plastic. And then the whole headliner is also Alcantara. And so the car that I test drove was a brand new Cybertruck. When I dropped it off, it had... I forgot what it was, 70 something miles on it, and I put 14 miles on it myself, so it had only done maybe 3 or 4 test drives. But that car had a lot of rattles in the front, and it had some rattles in the back, and that was one of my gripes. So I was complaining that the truck was really noisy. It felt really cheap because it rattled so much. This Cyberbeast, thank goodness, is dead solid, no rattles, no issues. I've had no rattles at all with this truck on the highway, on bumps, whatever. So that has been a really pleasant surprise. I was really worried about that. And I think a lot has to do with this Alcantara. So the way you fix rattles on a regular car, if it's like plastic to plastic, is you put felt tape in between all the spots where the plastic can rub. And here with Alcantara, it's built in. You've got Alcantara against Alcantara throughout the whole dash. So that's going to make sure that you don't have any plastic on plastic rubbing on the dash. So you won't have any noise, no rattles, nothing. So that's been fantastic. As far as the window tint, I did the front, and I did that because my wife hates the Model X, how it's all open here. So I have this similar screen to the one that comes with the foundation. The foundation comes with this center screen thing. So I have it installed right now, but the Model X goes from the front all the way to like the Falcon doors, where it's all open glass. And this kind of has that same effect. But because of that, because the sun visors only cover so much, and my wife is so sensitive to sun, I got the 5% limo tint taken from the top all the way almost to the AS line. So the AS line is where you can go legally on front window tint. And so taking it to the AS line would mean that it would extend beyond this center cover. And I kind of didn't want that little piece or strip coming across the middle. So I just told her, the tint lady, to cut it off above the AS line, just make it level. And I think it came out really nice. It's almost like I don't need to use the sun visors at all, but I can still see through it. It's not claustrophobic at all. So I like it. It was a good compromise. I got my Escort 360C version 2. It's hardwired. So that was great. I just wired it into the center thing here where the gear shifter is. So back to the wind noise. This truck makes a horrendous amount of wind noise. It makes a lot of electric motor noise. So on acceleration and especially on regen braking, it's really loud. I would say at least 3 times the noise level of my Model X Plaid. I still have the Model X Plaid. That's staying. So I'm gonna have both. I'm gonna keep both. So this one, around 50 miles an hour, it starts to have a lot of wind noise. And you know, it's really obvious whenever a car is pretty quiet. And this truck is pretty quiet. But the wind noise is pretty obtrusive. There's quite a bit. And it makes sense. It's like a vertical slab in the front. So I'm not surprised. It sounds like it's coming from here. And I don't know how that's going to play out when I get the Foundation Series light bar finally installed. The Foundation Series Cyberbeast came with the light bar, and it's just a matter of that, you know, I guess getting notification from Tesla that it's ready to be installed. So that's number one. A lot of wind noise. There's quite a bit. Number 2 will be the squircle. I really don't like the squircle. I don't mind the shape of the squircle at all. I have, between the Model X Plaid and the Model S, the revised Model S I had, Model X Plaid has about 46,000 miles on it. The Model S had over 50,000. So I've got about almost 100,000 miles collectively between both cars with the yoke. And I love the yoke. I would get the yoke in this car again if I could, but they don't offer it, so it's the squircle. My problem is not the squircle. I don't mind the shape of this. It's that it's narrow. This wheel is narrower than the yoke. And for some reason, just having it narrow like that means that my arms are just constricted when I'm actually holding the wheel with 2 hands. And I find it a little bit uncomfortable. I just don't know why they had to make that move, because it easily could have been a little bit bigger. And I don't know if it's because they didn't want to extend past the screen, or there must have been some design component to that. But it's just very small. It's like a funny car, you know, the dragsters where they have 2 handles and they're really, really close together, and, you know, they're controlling that. It just doesn't feel right. It's not comfortable. So that is the one issue that I don't like about the squircle. Other than that, the squircle is actually better than the yoke, because these are actually physical buttons. If you hear that? These are physical buttons. So I love that. All of these are physical buttons. They're not the capacitance touch buttons like on the Model X and the Model S. So that's been fantastic. It's just the size. So I don't like that part. Number 3, it takes longer to charge. So I don't know if it's because of the new cell batteries, or that battery pack isn't bigger. It just, on any charger, whether it's the home charger, the wall charger, or a supercharger, this car takes longer to charge, not because, and it's the same current, it's taking in the same amount of energy. It just takes longer to charge to get, you know, to rack up your miles. And it's only because it's inefficient. And I had this phenomenon with my Model X versus the Model S. The Model X is the exact same battery, the exact same charging circuit. And the Model S at home charges at 43 to 44 miles per hour. You get 43 to 44 miles per hour that it sits on a 50 amp wall charger at 240 volts. On a supercharger, you get 600 and, you know, maybe 670 miles an hour, or 680 miles an hour, something like that, at a 250 kilowatt supercharger. The Model 3 and Model Y, by comparison, can charge at almost 800 miles an hour. And it's not because the charge rate is lower or higher. It's the same charge rate. you're just getting less miles because of less efficiency. And so my Model S would charge at 43, 44. The Model X charges at 32, 33, 34 on a 50 amp charger. On a supercharger, the Model S charges at 680, 700, somewhere around there. I think the Model X was 6 something. But this one charges at about 580, 620, something like that. So it's just less efficient. It just takes longer to charge, to get the same charge. If I go to my trips, I have 1,015 miles on it now. You'll see my average energy is 521 watt hours per mile, which is pretty high. I think with my Model X, it was 440 something, and the Model S is like 410 or something, with the 22s on the Model X, 21s on the Model S. But I think, you know, on a Model 3, you can get as low as 200 and something watt hours per mile. So this is a very inefficient truck. So, you know, it's using a lot of energy. Therefore, it gives the illusion of taking longer to charge because it takes longer to build up that energy in the car. It's not the charge rate or the charger, it's just the efficiency. So that's number 3. Number 4 is the power. This is the Cyberbeast. So this has all the power, you know, that you want. But I have the Model X Plaid. And the Model X Plaid, to be quite honest, from a stop, I think this is almost the same. It's very close. I've seen a number of drag races where, depends on the launch, this truck can actually take the Model X depending on your launch. Where this truck differs, the Cyberbeast versus the Model X Plaid, is that when you're going at any speed, whether you're on the highway already doing 70 and you just punch it, the Model X Plaid is neck snapping. It just launches like you're launching from a dig. This has a lot of initial torque from a standstill, but if you're already in motion and you just floor it, just nail the throttle, it does not have nearly as much power. And you see that if you ever watch a drag race on YouTube between a Cyberbeast and a Model X Plaid or a Model S Plaid, you will see the Plaids literally pull away from the Beast, like it's just standing still. On the mid to top end, the Plaids do way better, have way more power. This is just a very gradual, you know, it does pull obviously, but it's a very gradual pull at those at higher speeds. So that's been a little bit disappointing because I don't use my Cyberbeast or my Plaid to launch from a stoplight and beat someone across the intersection. I have the power mostly for safe passing. Like I drive a lot of 2-lane highways where there's semi trucks and they're going, you know, 55 and a 65, and I want to get around them, and it's only 1 lane in each direction. I want to do it as quickly as possible, and the Plaid is just beautiful for that. It just does that amazingly well, and this not so well. So that's number 4. Number 5, the doors are heavy. That's a given, you know. That's kind of a given. But I'm gonna, doors are heavy. But then I'm also used to the X where the doors open and close automatically, and you got the Falcon doors. So you know that's something there. Number 6 is the finish is tough to maintain. You've seen a number of videos on this. It's really hard to figure out this finish. I have figured it out. This side is looking great. This side is looking great. This side not so great because I didn't really do anything with this side yet. And it's hard to see, but there are runs and a little bit of rust, rail dust on it. This is stuff I didn't clean off yet, but there's a very simple procedure for getting it off. It's just I just don't know yet how often I have to do it. That might be kind of a pain in the butt, but we'll see. At least it's fixable. And as far as restoring the finish, no problem. I figured out a way to match this, so I'm not concerned at all if it gets scratched or something. Number 7 is going to be storage space. This car, it seems like the Model X Plaid has more storage space. There's like little cubbies in the trunk, and so I added this little thing. This is pretty useful. I added one behind the screen, which is pretty useful. This area I think is just a waste of space. I wouldn't put like a backpack there, or I don't know what you'd put there. but I need to come up with a console or something to put there and utilize some of that space. Inside the glove box, it's about the same as the X, I think, you know, so nothing earth-shattering there. It just doesn't have a whole lot of storage inside. So number 8 is going to be the white interior. I love white. I've had 5 Teslas, actually 6 if I count the Model Y I bought for my son. And I've always had the white interior, no matter what color the outside is. They've all been black, even my son's, except for one, which was gray. But here's the problem with the white interior, and I didn't know this was an issue on the Cybertruck till I experienced it. Everybody said, don't get the white, and I got the white, you know. But on the Model X Plaid, this is dry carbon fiber, so it's kind of black. Or on the Model X, it's non-plaid, it's like an open pore wood. But it's not white, even with the white interior. The problem with the white interior is this right here. And it's not bad right now because the sun's not on this area, but this reflection. You see how it goes right across the side view mirror? Boom. You see that? It's always like that. During the day, it's always like that. And this is just like a weird fluke that it's not doing it right now, but it's always like that on this side too. So I always have to kind of look around the obstruction to see through my mirrors. And it kind of renders them useless at times. So if I had to do it again, would I get white? Absolutely. I love the white interior. But that's a problem that's waiting for a solution. I think there's a carbon fiber piece that you can use to cover this. And I just don't know about that because this is a padded area. I don't know about putting something, I just don't know. This is really padded. It's really, I don't know if you can see how much that depresses. It's super soft and, you know, padded. So I don't know about putting something rigid over it, whether it's gonna damage this or not. I just don't want to damage it. Number 9 is something I already covered. It's the drivetrain noise. So we'll skip by that. And number 10 was really surprising. Number 10, the Model X and the Model S have amazing headlights. Even the Model 3 and Y actually have good headlights. The Matrix headlights. The Cybertruck has these right in there. Those are the headlights for the Cybertruck. And I didn't really test drive this thing at night, so I wouldn't have known that, but the lights are a little weak. The low beam lights are really kind of weak. It's a great pattern. The throw is great. Disbursement, you know, everything is great. There's no hot spots, but it's weak. And if you ever look at a Model X or a Model S with the matrix lights, when the lights are on, you will see that it's a quad beam setup. It's got two lights that illuminate, so it's not just one low beam, one high beam. They're both low beams, and then there's an internal flap that adjusts to make them high beam. This one, I don't think these are matrix lights because I know the new matrix update is coming, and it's for the Model S and the Model X, not the Cybertruck. So I don't think these are matrix lights. So I found the lights to be a little weak, but that's about it. Outside of that, I really like this truck. It's comfortable. It's quiet outside of the drivetrain noise. And I'm going to do a Cyberbeast versus Model X Plaid video separate. But in some instances, this rides better than the Model X Plaid. In some instances, not. And I'll kind of touch on that when I get to that video. This is already getting too long, so we'll just leave it at that. Okay. Well, anyways, there's my 1,000-mile update and the 10 things I don't like about the Cyberbeast.